Hello, everyone. I'm Megan Meadows, the Director of the Division of Energy Assistance within the Office of Community Services, or OCS, in the Administration for Children and Families. On behalf of the division, I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar on using the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or LIHEAP Clearinghouse. Today's webinar is being presented by David Carroll from Apprise, Marissa Larson from NCAT, and a member of the LIHEAP Performance Management Implementation Work Group, Jen Blank from the Wisconsin Home Energy Assistance Program. Next slide, please. Today, we'll explain why there are 3 LIHEAP websites funded by OCS and take a deep dive into one of those websites, the LIHEAP Clearinghouse. The LIHEAP Clearinghouse was created to provide detailed information about each LIHEAP grant recipient's program. We'll be exploring how to navigate the site and how you can help us keep it up to date as much as the site's information comes directly from grant recipients. We'll also be highlighting the Clearinghouse's resources for program managers. The audience for today's webinar is state, territory, and tribal LIHEAP coordinators and relevant staff. In addition, we'll be hosting a webinar on the Clearinghouse for stakeholders on September 24th. If you have any staff unable to attend or you want to view this webinar again, a recording will be made available on the ACF YouTube channel. Next slide, please. We encourage you to ask questions in the GoToWebinar question box found at the bottom of the sidebar. Questions will be reviewed and responded to at the end of the webinar or via email. Next slide. We greatly appreciate you joining us today and hope our presentation will help you get the most out of the LIHEAP Clearinghouse. With that, David, please take it away.
Thanks, Megan. Hi, everyone. I'm David Carroll, the Managing Director of Apprise. We are one of the contractors that provide support to OCS and the PMIWG. Today, I'll be explaining why OCS has funded 3 separate LIHEAP websites, what the purpose is of each, and then go into a bit more detail about the LIHEAP Clearinghouse. Next slide, please. The first website is the federal LIHEAP page on the HHS ACF website. This website includes the LIHEAP statute and regulations, official reports from OCS, and contact information for OCS staff and LIHEAP grant recipients. This is where OCS stores documents that furnish official guidance regarding program rules, regulations, and policies in the form of information memoranda, action transmittals, and Dear Colleague letters. It also has training and other resources for program managers. The LIHEAP Performance Management website furnishes resources and tools to help program administrators, policymakers, and the public access performance management information and performance measurement data. The PMW hosts the data warehouse, which allows users to access national and state level LIHEAP data in order to build custom reports, tables, and charts. The LIHEAP virtual library that helps grant recipients to locate the resources that they need to effectively manage their programs. Tools that help program managers to assess their LIHEAP program performance and the reliability of their performance data. Training and information on how to complete required grant recipient reports, as well as a wide range of training webinars and data case studies that furnish examples of how some grant recipients have used data for performance management. That's just a quick overview of what the PMW has to offer. We will be hosting 2 webinars on the PMW in October that explore those resources in depth, so stay tuned for more information. Finally, we have the LIHEAP Clearinghouse that furnishes detailed information about the design and implementation of each LIHEAP grant recipient's program, as well as information on other low-income energy assistance and energy efficiency resources that complement the services delivered by LIHEAP. The Clearinghouse also hosts the National Energy Assistance Referral Hotline, or NEAR service, and its companion website, the Energy Help page, that refers households needing assistance to a local LIHEAP office. One recent addition to that page is a tool that allows a household to enter information about their income, household size, and state, territory, or tribe to assess whether it is likely that they are income eligible for the program benefits. Next slide, please. The Clearinghouse was first launched, the Clearinghouse website was first launched in 1998 by the National Center for Appropriate Technology, or NCAT. OCS has funded the website operation since that time with LIHEAP funds allocated for training and technical assistance. The goal of the Clearinghouse was to have a single repository where information can be collected, developed, organized, and then disseminated to a variety of stakeholders, including grant recipients, grant subrecipients, including community action agencies, local government offices, low-income energy service organizations, utilities, and utility regulatory commissions, among others. By making use of plans and reports submitted by grant recipients and through regular contact with stakeholders, the Clearinghouse maintains and updates a nationwide information sharing network. The Clearinghouse's overall goal is to expand and enhance information exchange on low-income energy issues in order to improve program management and delivery of services, initiate innovative programmatic improvements, maximize cooperation among grant recipients, organizations serving low-income households, and energy vendors, investigate and obtain supplemental information on non-federal funding, and foster energy sufficiency and reduce dependency. Now I'm going to hand the presentation over to NCAT's very own Marisa Larson, who will walk you through how to navigate the Clearinghouse and how to help us keep it up to date. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, David. Hi, everyone. I'm Marisa Larson, the content manager for the LIHEAP Clearinghouse. And I'll be showing you how to navigate through the Clearinghouse and how you can help us keep the information up to date. If we have time, I'll conduct a short demonstration on how you might navigate the website to find the information that you're interested in. Okay, next slide, please. This is the Clearinghouse homepage, which has information about the Clearinghouse, about what you'll find at each of the tabs in the navigation menu, and the latest news. The right sidebar has links to the Energy Help page, LIHEAP Virtual Library, and Website Navigator, as well as a box on the most used links on the website, which Jane will cover later in this presentation. As you'll see, the items on the sidebar remain there as you navigate through the website. Next, I'll take you through the 4 tabs that contain most of the information on the site: state and territorial programs, tribal programs, state snapshots, and disconnect policies. Next slide, please. As you all know, LIHEAP is a block grant program, which gives grant recipients a lot of flexibility in how they run their programs, leading to nearly endless variation in program design, administration, and delivery practices across factors such as funding, eligibility, benefit levels, program components, oversight and monitoring, and so much more. The state and territorial programs page contains detailed information about how each program differs across all of these factors. Each of these links navigates to a separate page with more specific information. The funding page includes descriptions, tables, and graphs related to historic and current LIHEAP funding for each state and territory, as well as the program overall. The administration page contains an overview of relevant statutes and regulations, and also state administration practices and program components. It's here you'll find resources such as model plans and policy manuals, guidance on administrative spending, and information about state and local administrating agencies, vendor and agency contracts, fiscal management, oversight and monitoring practices, and program integrity. The delivery page focuses on how program services are delivered. In addition to relevant statutes and regulations, it also details variations in outreach activities, eligibility criteria and determination, program components and operation dates, benefits, and self-sufficiency activities such as Assurance 16. The tribal mirrors the state and territorial programs page, but is geared towards tribal programs. It also contains the LIHEAP Grantee Resource Guide, a manual that was developed by tribal representatives and HHS staff as a guide to practices in tribal programs, including several actual examples. It contains information on laws and requirements, policy decisions, application requirements for receiving direct funding, program monitoring, and much, much more. State snapshots summarize each state's grant recipient's key LIHEAP characteristics. The disconnect policies page has an overview of the disconnection policies in each state, along with additional resources for consumers. Click one of the links to jump to a specific state. The disconnect policies page contains information on disconnection policies. These include policies for cold, hot, and extreme weather, as well as policies for vulnerable populations. The page also contains resources for consumers such as the state's Public Service Commission and energy assistance programs. All right. While it's our responsibility to make sure everything on the clearinghouse is up to date, much of the information comes directly from grant recipients. You can help us by checking out the website regularly, and feel free to contact us if anything needs to be updated. Nicholas, before I turn it over to Jane, I wanted to take a moment to demonstrate how we might click through the tabs and links to find information most users are interested in. So let's show how we can find a LIHEAP plan. Let's start by going to the Clearinghouse homepage, where we are. If we were a state or a territory grant recipient interested in finding our LIHEAP plan, we know we need to click on the state and territories tab at the top first. Well, getting back to it, we're into that state and territory programs, and then from here, you'll see the administration is where we want to go next. There we go. And from this list, second one down, plans, manuals, and delegation letters. This is where you'll find your state plan. Let's see. Okay, now we can find our LIHEAP plan from this list below. Let's try any of these states. Let's also try doing a tribe. So go ahead and click on the tribal programs tab at the top. And then we'll do a state tribe agreement. Let's see. Yep, and then into, let's see. Should be under contracts. There we go. So here you can find a list of our state tribe agreements. Let's select one of those. Alabama, for example, and here you can see linked to the right are the agreements for each of these tribes between the state and said tribe. Okay, so let me find my spot. All right, that sounds good. I'm going to hand over the presentation to Jane now, who will go over key resources on the website and demonstrate a faster way to get to some of the most useful pages. Jane, please take it away.
Thanks, Marisa. Hi, everyone. I'm Jane Blank. I'm the Section Chief for the Department of Administration's Division of Energy, Housing, and Community Resources. I'm here to show you how you can access key resources on the Clearinghouse, how to search for resources, bookmark your favorite pages, and understand the Energy Help page which your clients, we call them customers in Wisconsin, will find most useful. So I see you're already at the clearinghouse page, so thanks, Nicholas. So I want to take a moment to highlight our new most used links, right, box to the right that was mentioned earlier. These are links to key pages that are most often used by grant recipients. The box has links to both the state and territory version and a travel version of each page. You can find links to pages containing model plans and policy manuals, benefit information, income and categorical eligibility criteria, the latest funding release tables, and program components and operation dates. As Marisa mentioned earlier, this box will stay with you as you navigate throughout the website. Let's click on the model plans link for states and territories as an example. As you can see, this page has the 24 model plans for all states and territories and an archive of plans going back way back to 2014. Let's check out one of the most used links, Nicholas. Can you please click on the income eligibility for tribes? As you can see, this page has a table with income eligibility criteria for each program component for all 151 tribes. Next, I want to demonstrate how to use the search function or the search box at the top right of the website. Let's say we're looking for energy vendor contracts. Let's try searching for energy vendor contracts in the search box. Here you can see the search returns links to several pages that might be relevant, but the link we're looking for is right at the top. There are a few other things you can do to improve your search experience even more. Nicholas, let's click on the About Searching. Thank you. This page describes other tactics you can use to improve your search results. Next, I just want to take a moment to show you how I bookmark a useful page so I can go back to it later using the same web browser. Nicholas, can you please navigate back to the search results and click on the Energy Vendor Agreements page? So now at the top right, we can see a star. If we click on it, we can bookmark the page and save it in a specific location on the web browser. If we want to find it later, we can go to the application menu at the top right, click on the bookmarks option, and find it there. This will be a little different for each web browser. Usually you can find and click on the star symbol to the right of the search bar at the top, or navigate throughout the application menu to find the bookmark options. The last thing I want to show you is the Energy Help page and the LIHEAP Office search tool, which can be accessed by clicking on the orange box below the menu tabs to the right. Like the most used links box, this will always be there no matter what page of the clearinghouse you're on. Nicholas, go ahead and click on. So you clicked on it. So this is the main page. Households are interested in LIHEAP. They can, it was mentioned earlier, where they can find key information about whether they qualify for LIHEAP, whom to contact if interested in applying for LIHEAP, and some other educational information. The first thing you can see is the big Do I Qualify button, which takes you to the LIHEAP eligibility tool. This was an idea that Dr. Howard from OCS championed. The tool will tell you if you qualify for benefits under inputting which state, territory, or tribe you reside in, your household income, your household size, and whether you receive other benefits. We have these boxes with contact information, including the LIHEAP Office search tool, which I'll get to shortly. Further down, we see the types of support LIHEAP offers. And at the bottom, there are some educational videos. There's also other useful links. Next, I want to show you how the LIHEAP Office search tool works. Nicholas, can you go back up to, you're already there almost, back up to the Office search tool in the red box. This tool helps you to find contact information for local agencies, so in every county, as well as a tribal version of the tool. Can you click on the state link and click on Wisconsin? Can you select Ashland County? Awesome. So here's the contact information, a variety of different pieces of information. The website link is actually to the our Wisconsin public website, which provides a map to customers and a little bit more specific and detailed information. NCAT takes this information from each grantee's website before the beginning of each fiscal year. It's part of our standard operating procedure to update our website every year. So we have like a SOP or a timeline that we have, and it's one of our tasks in Wisconsin. My team goes through and reviews this to ensure that we have accurate information. And you can help NCAT out by doing the same thing and making sure that your page is also updated. You may want to check the search tool periodically just to ensure that it has correct information. Sometimes agencies move to different locations. We've had some operational changes. So I know we've got a few things to get to Marisa. So this is, again, it's me, Jane Blank. This was a short demonstration of the most useful areas of the clearinghouse. And now I'll turn it back over to David for some final reminders.
Kevin, can you go back to go up one slide, go up 2 slides to Marisa's final slide, just so we know how to keep us up to date. So this was something Marisa didn't get to highlight. Much of the information in the clearinghouse comes directly from grant recipients, and I'll say grant recipients and stakeholders. So you should please check the clearinghouse regularly and contact Marisa if any information needs to be updated. You may find that Marisa reaches out to you periodically for things like updates to your state plan or maybe a LIHEAP manual. Please be responsive to her, and if you're not getting those emails, it might be because she's heading, it's going to the office head, and if you're the person who's handling this, you should highlight for Marisa that you should be contacted. Okay, let's go down to final reminders. So we hope you've enjoyed today's webinar despite a few technical difficulties, because we'll be hosting a similar one on September 24th for other stakeholders. Those are all your colleagues who work in this field. If you have any edits, feedback, or other recommendations, we encourage you to send them to us, and we will try to incorporate them for the next webinar. And please don't forget to invite your contacts. As I mentioned during the introduction, we'll be hosting 2 webinars on the PMW in October, one for grant recipients and a second for other stakeholders. The dates of those webinars will be announced in the next week or 2. Additionally, if you haven't checked out the May webinar on the data warehouse, along with other webinars if you haven't already, check out the May webinar on the data warehouse, along with other webinars from OCS over the years. Next slide, please. Okay, so we have a few minutes left. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the question box found at the bottom of the GoToWebinar sidebar. If we don't get to them during the webinar, we'll follow up via email. Kevin, do we have questions that have been added to the box?
Yes, we have. Some of the state tribe agreements say to contact our liaison for viewing. Are those just not posted yet, or can we not see all of the contracts?
So you and Nicholas will be able to better answer this question. We have posted all the ones that have been submitted to us. If you don't see yours, you should be talking to your liaison, because what that means is that OCS does not have a current version of your state tribal agreement. Is that correct, Kevin and Nicholas? And
We've actually been in the process of uploading the ones we've received recently, so we might just have not gotten to it yet, but we are in the process of that and should be finishing that hopefully by the end of this week, if not early next week.
But if at the end of this week you still don't see it, please contact your liaison. And if you don't, we've been in contact with some states and some tribes who either didn't know there were state tribal agreements or didn't have a copy of the current one. So your liaison will be happy to work with you to try to make sure that you get one posted. Any other questions, Kevin?
When will the near eligibility tool update the eligibility info for the new program year?
We will not be able to update the near eligibility tool until you all filed your state plans and tribal plans, but they need to be reviewed. And as soon as your plan is accepted by OCS, Marisa and her team will start working on updating all that information. So remember that if you have new, so as Jane said, if you have new subrecipients, please look at those right now. Let Marisa know so she can update them. So if anybody is looking for their local agency. It is also true that the do I qualify application is generous. It doesn't say you are eligible or you are not eligible. If people are close to the income threshold, it says it's possible that you might be eligible, you should reach out. But if they're well above that threshold, then it'll say you're probably not eligible, but if you would like to, if you'd like to look at other resources, please contact these agencies anyway. We will update them as soon as your state plans are reviewed, and we'll update that. But it's not necessarily going to be immediate. But I don't think it's going to be a critical problem for people if it's not exactly precise. Any other questions, Kevin?
Nope, those are all of the questions.
Great. I want to mention we're continually updating the website to better serve its purpose to support LIHEAP's effectiveness in assisting low-income customers, grant recipients, and other stakeholders. Last year, we added the eligibility tool, and soon we plan to introduce tribal snapshots that are similar to the state snapshots that Marisa showed earlier. And we're always open to new ideas. So if you have any ideas, please send them our way. The Clearinghouse is a collaborative effort among OCS, the grant recipients, and other stakeholders, and your input helps us to make it a better resource for everyone. Thank you again for attending, and we look forward to seeing you at upcoming webinars. In the meantime, here's our contact information. Please reach out with any questions, feedback, or ideas. We're always happy to hear from you. So Katina Lawson is the OCS staff member who is the primary contact for the Clearinghouse. John English is the system administrator. You heard from Marisa Larson, who's the contact manager. Most of you know Dan Bausch, who takes responsibility for working with you on the LIHEAP reports. You know that Nicholas furnishes support to Dan, and Kevin is working on the communications. So that's the team who will be working with you. Thank you very much for your time.